Starting to just become aware of how you're feeling on your mat today. Maybe starting with a full body scan or simply just checking in. Exploring where you're feeling your breath today. Maybe checking in with how you're doing and feeling mentally as well as physically as we step on our mat today for our practice. As you start to become more aware of your breath, I encourage you to think about our diaphragmatic breath. So thinking about inhaling deep from the belly, moving the breath up into the chest, and exhaling from the chest back down to the belly. Perhaps setting your intention for today's practice. I always like to start the new year with some New Year's intentions or goals. So maybe even perhaps thinking about that for yourself today. Maybe you have some goals for the week, for the month, for the semester. Continuing to find that nice deep diaphragmatic breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose if that feels good for you today. And then feel free to breathe in any way that feels best for your body throughout our practice. Letting go of any expectations, letting go of any judgment of ourselves and others, and letting go of any competition. Simply listening to our bodies and focusing on this present moment. As we move on to our backs, let's bring our hands down by our sides, starting to add some movement to our breath today. We can keep our knees bent or lengthened. As we inhale, we're just going to bring the arms up and overhead, either stopping at the shoulders or reaching them all the way up and over, whatever feels best. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the sides. We can also explore taking the arms out to the side, maybe drawing a big circle around our mat and our body. Getting used to moving with the breath here again. Inhaling, feeling the rib cage expand and lift off the mat. Exhaling, pressing your spine back down. Taking 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, let's reach our arms up and overhead. As we exhale, we draw the knees into the chest. Grabbing underneath our knee on the hamstring, we can gently rock it side to side, massaging our low back. Maybe drawing some circles or figure eights on the ceiling. From here, taking our arms out to a T position, so right by our sides, and then bringing our knees up over our hips. So our shins come parallel to the floor. It's about a 90-degree angle, bracing through our core. So we should immediately start to feel the core muscles engage. Inhaling here. And then as we exhale, slowly lowering the knees over to the right side, just hovering them right over the floor. Inhaling, coming back to center. And exhaling them over to the left. So we're just alternating these knee drops, starting to get our core muscles engaged, specifically our deeper core muscles and our obliques. Still moving with our breath here, only going as low as it feels good for us today. We'll take 1 more round on each side. We're focusing on building that heat in the body. Inhaling, bringing your knees back to center. And then you can exhale, draw the knees into the chest. So you should feel your hip flexors release a little bit more here. We'll take our feet to the mat in front of us, right in front of our hips, moving into our bridge pose. Hands by the sides, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. We should feel the tailbone peel up off the mat, feeling that little pelvic tilt. As we inhale, we lift the hips up to the sky. And then as we exhale, we slowly lower the spine back down to the mat. Just continuing that motion here, inhaling, lifting the hips. Pressing into our toes, feeling our glutes and our back body engage. And exhaling, lowering down. Moving at your own pace today. I always encourage that. Feeling free to stay in a move as long as you'd like, or a pose as long as you'd like, or move through it, maybe exploring it in your body today. Remembering that you are in control of your practice and you have the power to choose what feels best for your body today. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath wherever we are in our bridge. As we inhale this last time, bringing our hips up to the sky and holding our bridge pose. We have the option here to take our hands underneath our low back, maybe even clasping them together. Coming up a little higher onto our shoulders, pushing our hips a little higher. Pressing into our right foot, I want you to think about just keeping the left toes on the mat. We're going to lift the left heel up off the mat. Feeling the core muscles and the glutes engage a little more on the opposite side, releasing. And then as we inhale, we switch sides. So this time the right heel lifts, pushing the toes down into the mat. Maybe feeling the calf muscles engage and actively pushing down into our left foot. Slowly releasing, we can take our hands apart and slowly lower our hips back down to the mat, bringing our knees into our chest one last time. From here, we'll slowly drop our knees over to one side, or we can roll ourselves up, maybe lifting our shoulders, head, rounding our spine, shifting our body so our hands come to the front of our mat, our knees under our hips. We call this quadruped, or all fours, hands and knees. And I want you to think about a couple of things in your quadruped today. So little space between the knees. So knees are under our hips, hands under our shoulders, softening our fingers and taking our elbows and drawing them in and back. So sometimes the elbows push out to the side, but as we can push into the mat, drawing the elbows in and shifting our weight into the soft part where the thumb connects to the palm. So think about pressing into the palm and that soft part. That's going to take some pressure out of your wrists. Moving into our cat and cow here, starting with our hips. As we inhale, hips lift to the sky, belly drops, chest lifts, head lifts. Exhale, starting with our head, chin to chest, rounding through the spine, finishing at our hips. And just moving through this at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling into your cat and cow. Adding in any variations or different moves to this that might feel good for you today. Maybe adding in some lateral movement, moving the hips side to side, feeling a little stretch in the side body. Maybe taking some hip circles. Taking one more round of breath here. And then meeting me in your flat back position. Pressing into your left palm as we inhale, we reach the right fingers out in front of us. Feeling our core muscles engage, releasing as we exhale. Inhale, left thumb fingers reach out in front of us. Eye gaze to the floor, spine is still neutral. This time we add in our legs. So inhaling, the right arm and the left leg, stretching the body in opposite directions. Exhaling and switch. This is one of my favorite exercises to activate your core, specifically your muscular slings. We can start to alternate our sides here. So warming up the muscles that connect our shoulders to our hips here. Adding in, again, any variations, maybe a little bit of lateral movement, leg and arm to the side. Still moving with our breath. Taking one more round on each side, maybe 2 more rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, coming back to your all fours, hands and knees. From here, we're taking our knees to the long edges of the mat, hips sit back towards the tops of our feet on the mat. We find child's pose. Whichever variation of child's pose feels good for you today. Know there's lots of options. Maybe you want to rest your head on the block. This is a great option if you're wanting to avoid any inversions today. So we're keeping our head above our heart. Maybe if you're feeling any sinus things going on, I know it's cold. We can also take our block out in front of us, place our hands on top, getting a little bit more, a little bit deeper into our shoulders here specifically. Remembering our child's pose is our rest pose, so we can stay here as long as we'd like and come back to this pose or any other rest pose for that matter that feels good for us. When you're ready, let's inhale, slowly lifting our heart, our chest. We can remove the block, shifting our body forward into our modified plank. So knees in line with our hips. Thinking about that palm position, elbows in. As we exhale, little baby yoga push-up, we come down, elbows in and back. Inhale, press up. Exhale, child's pose. So a couple different options here for our sun salutations, our half series. Inhale, we shift forward. Exhale, if we want to and it feels good, chaturanga, lowering all the way down to the mat. Inhale, press back up to your plank. Exhale, child's pose. Even more here if we want to add on, inhaling forward. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, tops of the feet on the mat, we find our baby cobra. So elbows and shoulders squeeze together. Hands can lift, heart lifts. Exhale, sit back, child's pose. All right, I'm gonna give y'all an additional option today. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, we can lift a cobra, lift the hands. I want you to think baby cobra. Exhale, reach the arms out in front of you. Inhale, it's a back extension. Hands come to the mat. Exhale, child's pose. So if you want to add on a little bit more for your back body today, that is your option. Those are all of your options for your half series today. Moving at your own pace today and whichever option feels best. If you're taking that back extension, shoulders squeeze together, elbows pull back, chest lifts, eye gaze down, squeezing through your glutes. We'll take one more round of our sun salutations, our half series sun salutations, remembering that chaturanga is always optional. We don't have to lower all the way to the floor if that doesn't feel good or accessible for us today. Meeting back in child's pose when you're ready. Remembering that another option we have is that down dog is always optional. If you want to take that option and move into down dog at this time, feel free to. Lifting your hips up to the sky in that inverted V, maybe walking your dog, bending knees right and left. We can always stay in child's pose, but from here, wherever we are, we're walking to the top of our mat, making our way into forward fold, Uttanasana. Hands can come to the block, knees are soft. From here, letting the body fold towards the thighs, letting the head relax, the jaw relax, maybe shaking the head yes, and no. Option to find ragdoll. I love this song because of the words. Releasing your hands to the mat. On an inhale, we'll lift up to find our flat back position, lengthening our spine. Exhale, softening forward fold. One more time, inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. This time as we inhale, reverse swan dive, arms lift to the sky if that feels good. Exhale, hands to heart center, sitting our hips back into chair pose. Knees in line with our toes. Inhale, let's do one more chair. Exhale, sit back. Option, arms can extend out in front of us. Moving through our full sun salutation. So putting that all together, exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, lift to our flat back. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, step back to your plank, knees, toes. Exhale, taking your options, chaturanga, back bend, whatever feels good, maybe up dog. Exhaling, down dog or child's pose. And then inhaling, lunging, stepping, walking to the top of your mat. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, chair. Continuing that on the other side. Inhaling, we lift. Exhaling, we soften and fold. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to find your plank, knees, toes, and taking whichever option feels good for you today. Taking 2 more rounds of your sun salutations at your own pace. Any variation that you want to today, whatever feels best. I know I gave y'all the optional back bend. If there's anything else you want to add in or change, feel free to do so. Just taking this at your own pace. Focusing on building that heat in the body, moving the breath to all of our major muscles that we're going to be utilizing in our practice today. Rounding out your sun salutations. Wherever you are, we'll meet in down dog or child's pose. Just resetting our breath and getting ready for our standing strength work. From our down dog or child's pose, we're just gonna look towards the top of our mat, step our right foot to the top, finding that nice low lunge position. If we want to here, we can drop the knee to the mat. I like this here to start off, just getting a little hip flexor work as well. Block is an option to come inside the right foot. For our left hand, we inhale, and then as we exhale, we take a twist over the right leg. Option here to reach the arm up to the sky in our low lunge, making sure our knees feel happy. Remembering there's no right, there's just what's right for our body today. Option to lift that knee if we want to. Taking one more big inhale. As we exhale, releasing the hand to the mat. From here, we'll lift the left knee. We're moving up into our high lunge. So finding our balance, right leg forward, left leg back. All of our toes are facing the same direction. We can keep the hands at heart center, maybe checking in with the hips. Back knee is soft. front knee is soft. When we soften our left knee, our back knee here, we can also squeeze our glutes, and that gets a nice psoas stretch into the hip flexor. From here, we'll inhale, reach our arms up to the sky. As we exhale, we're twisting over that right knee to find our revolved high lunge. Option here to bring the hands into the body if that feels better for us today. Little balance challenge. Taking one more big inhale. As we exhale, reaching the right arm back up to the sky. From here, we're stepping the left foot in, finding our warrior one stance, a little shorter, maybe feet come a little wider. The whole left foot's on the floor, knees are happy, back foot can be back on it, whatever angle feels good for us. As we inhale, lengthening our arms up to the sky one more time. And as we exhale, we forward fold, finding humble warrior. Option here, arms can stay out front, or if you want to, extending them back behind you. Maybe option to flow the arms, inhaling forward, exhaling back. From the side, it looks like this. So core is still engaged. We're finding this nice stretch in our calf on the left leg, feeling the strength and heat in the right leg. Taking one more round of breath. As we exhale, bringing our hands into our heart center. Finding that position and balance here. Slowly, we're pressing into the right foot, lifting the left heel off, coming up into our warrior three position. So, option to grow our arms out in front of us, behind us, to the side. We can also move in and out of our warrior three and our warrior one if we want to, or our humble warrior, excuse me. So coming here, dropping the foot, maybe pressing up into our warrior three as we inhale. Option to add on the arms. Just making this as active as you want to. So feeling free to hold or to flow these two. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath. When you're ready, slowly bringing the left knee in, we're finding our one-legged Tadasana, balancing on our right leg. And then slowly releasing. Excellent. Rolling out your right ankle if that feels good for you. Awesome. Inhale, let's reach our arms up. Extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. From here, we're staying in this forward fold position, but nice little release here. We did some work in our right glute, so we're going to soften our left knee, bending our left knee, keeping the right leg long. Left hand can come inside of the foot. We reach the right arm up to the sky. So we're shifting the hips to one side. We can also always find our block on the floor, but you should feel a nice stretch through the glutes, specifically the abductors, the side glutes. On your next exhale, releasing that hand down, stepping back to find your down dog or your child's pose. Option to move through your half series here, if that feels good for you, or to just stay and embrace this stillness. We're moving through to our other side. So when you're ready, eye gaze to the top of the mat. We step our left foot forward in our low lunge. Option to drop the knee. Block can come in on the right hand inside the left foot. We inhale. And then as we exhale, we find our twist over our left leg. Option here to reach the arm up to the sky. Option to lift the knee. As we squeeze our right glute in this position, we open up through that hip flexor a little bit more too. Taking one more big inhale. Exhale, releasing the left hand. Hips and shoulders square to our mat. We lift our right knee, finding our balance, coming up into our high lunge. Remembering our back heel is lifted, both knees are bent. Inhale, we can reach our arms up to the sky. Exhale, bracing our core, we twist over to the left, so towards the baseball field. Once again, option to bring our hands into our body, shortening that lever length. Taking one more big inhale. As we exhale, left arm comes up to the sky. Bringing our right foot in, we find our warrior one stance. We can keep our hands up or down, whatever feels good right here. Pushing that right heel towards the floor. As we inhale, we lengthen the spine. As we exhale, hinging from our hips, finding our humble warrior. Once again, option to move our arms with this here, or just simply hold. Finding the heat building in the left leg and finding a nice stretch in our right leg. Keeping the core active and engaged. Taking one more round of breath. As we exhale, bringing our hands into our heart center. Finding our balance here, pressing into the left leg. We slowly lift the right heel, moving up into our warrior three. Head is still above the heart. Lots of options. We can grow our arms. We can also add in this and make this active by coming into our warrior one. As we inhale, exhaling into our warrior three. Taking two more rounds of breath wherever we are. On our next exhale, we're slowly bringing the right leg forward, hands to heart center, finding our one-legged Tadasana. Slowly releasing the right leg, rolling out our left ankle. As we inhale to lengthen our spine, exhale, swan dive forward fold. Finding that nice little glute stretch on the other side. So we bend our right knee this time. The hips should shift to the left. And then we slowly rotate, twist, and lift our left arm up to the sky. This hand can also always rest on our low back, the left hand. Taking one more big inhale. And then exhaling, bringing the hands back to heart center. We'll step back to find our down dog or child's pose. Last chance to move through your half series if that feels good. We're going to find a little bit more hip flexor work today and core work today before we finish off. So from our child's pose or our down dog, all I want you to do is take your eye gaze to the top of your mat, maybe shifting into our all fours if we're on the mat. Inhale, we'll send the right leg high. So we're either in three-legged dog or the left knee is down. As we exhale, pull that knee to the outside elbow, same side, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, send it high again. Same side, exhale. Feeling the obliques engage. One more time, inhale. Exhale, last time, pulling the knee in. Excellent. One more big inhale. And then as we exhale, pulling the knee forward and through this time, finding that low lunge, right leg forward, walking the right foot out to the long edge of our mat. Right hand inside, we're finding lizard pose. So taking any options here that might feel good. I like to bring my hands to the block. If it feels good for you today, you can come down onto your forearms. Slowly taking our eye gaze down to the mat here and just finding our breath. Moving in and out of this as much as you'd like. So maybe if it feels really tight, we can shift forward and back. Relaxing the muscles in our jaw and our face. When you're ready, slowly walking yourself back up to your hands. We'll shift the right leg back in line with our hips, right hand to the outside. And I personally do like to shift back into a nice little hamstring stretch. So if that feels good for you today, you can stay here, or you're welcome to shift forward and back, maybe between the two of them. When you're ready, we'll slowly shift the right leg back behind us, finding down dog or child's pose, resetting our hips. Shifting ourselves forward, eye gaze forward. We inhale, lifting this time left leg to the sky. Exhale, left elbow to left, or left knee to left elbow. Sending the leg high again, inhale. Exhale, feeling the core muscles here. Inhale one more time. Exhale, making this really dynamic. One more big inhale. Exhale, pull the left knee forward and through to find your low lunge. Walking your left leg out, left hand in, and lizard pose on the other side. Feeling free to, if you want, let the knee roll to the side, maybe to the side of the foot. Just finding our breath here. When you're ready, we'll slowly walk our hands back up to our block. Walk our left foot back in line with our hips, left hand out. And we can shift back into that hamstring stretch. This just brings that blood flow back where we were restricting it in the stretch. We can also shift forward and back. Shifting back into your last down dog of the day, or you can immediately come into child's pose. Just gathering our breath here, resetting our hips. When you're ready, we'll all meet in that child's pose. From here, slowly walking our hands towards our body, lifting our head, our heart. We're just shifting around, coming back into that seated position. We'll lengthen our left leg out in front of us. Pull our right knee into the chest as we use it as a brake to slowly lower ourselves down onto our backs. So rounding through our spine. And from here, we can keep our right knee in, maybe rolling out the ankle, maybe taking some internal and external rotation in our hip. When we're ready, we'll keep that right knee in, taking our left hand to our shin below our knee. Right arm comes out to the side. I like to shift my hips a little bit to the right, and then we'll slowly take the right leg across the body as much as it feels good for you today. Remember that you have a block or a pillow maybe You can also prop that leg up on that block. Thinking about relaxing the bottom leg. Keeping the shoulder on the mat. We can also take our eye gaze in whatever direction feels good for us. Finding this last little bit of release in our spine and our hips. Sometimes I like to rock my head side to side, massaging the back of my head. When you're ready, we'll slowly bring the right knee back in. And then exhaling, we'll release the right leg back to the mat. As we inhale, we can reach our arms up and overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, left knee comes into the chest. Maybe taking those simple rolls here of our ankle, internal and external rotation of the hip. And then when you're ready, bringing the left knee in, right hand to the shin, left arm out to the side, maybe shifting your hips a little left, and then slowly we'll take the left leg across the body. Knowing that it's perfectly normal for one side to feel a little bit better than the other when it comes to doing things on each side of the body. When you're ready, we'll slowly bring the left leg back to center. This time bringing both our knees into our chest and rocking side to side one last time. Placing our feet on the mat in front of us and then walking them out to the edges. From here, we can take our hands a little wider and just drop the knees side to side. Getting any last little bit of release for our low back, our hips. Feeling free to stay here or take any other poses that might feel good for you today. Feeling free to hold this on one side or the other. And then when you're ready, we'll meet for final relaxation. So legs can be extended on the mat. We can also have our feet on the mat with our knees in, our feet together, knees open. You're also, like I mentioned in the beginning of class, welcome to lay on your back or on your side, just getting comfortable for these last few minutes. Maybe closing your eyes again, shifting your focus inward. Know that I will keep my eyes open so you are safe. Bringing your focus back to your breath And those deep inhales from the belly up into the chest, slowing down your breathing. Starting to wiggle your fingers and toes, just bringing that awareness back into your body and your space. Whenever you're ready, you're welcome to bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest, and then roll over onto your favorite side, maybe using your arm as a pillow. And then making your way back up to a seated position as you feel ready. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll take one last collective breath together as we inhale, arms reach up and overhead. And as we exhale, we bring our hands to our heart center in our Anjali Mudra position. We end our practice by saying something together if we'd like. That just means I honor, see, and observe the light in each and every one of you. It is also within me. Namaste. Thank y'all for practicing with me. I hope you have a fantastic week and a great rest of your day. There are wipes in the closet. I'll grab the bucket, but if you borrowed a mat, that'd be awesome if you could clean it off for us. Other than that, I will see y'all next time. Thanks for coming, y'all.
Thank you.